Three, two, one, go. Hello. Welcome to my commentary video for Pokemon Sword Tower of Two Fists Don't Get Urshifu. Uh, Currently, I'll be using this as a submission for RPG Limit Break 2023, but I may use this video in the future for other marathons as well. So I'm New Amber. I have been a Pokemon speedrunner for about 9 years now. I've done games all the way from Pokemon Red to Pokemon Scarlet, and a lot of generations in between. So right here I am doing Pokemon Sword, came out in 2019 and is the game for the 8th generation. So to explain what the category Tower of Two Fists Don't Get Urshifu is, it's kind of a long name. So in 2020, Sword and Shield released their DLC, and in the DLC, there are two new areas you can go to. One of them is the Isle of Armor, and the other is Crown Tundra. So this category, basically, we get as far as we can into the Isle of Armor story, without having to beat the main game. And so the farthest thing you can do is complete the Tower of Two Fists. And to explain the Don't Get Urshifu part, so normally in the DLC story, you would get a Pokemon named Kubfu, and you would have to train it up and use it to beat the Tower of Two Fists, and that would allow you to get Urshifu at the end of the tower. However, what you can do is once you get the Kubfu, you are able to release it and then just do the tower with whatever Pokemon you want. So that's what we're doing in this run. It's a lot more consistent than the Get Urshifu one, because in Get Urshifu, it takes a while to train up the Kubfu to be good enough to do the tower. As well, it's very dependent on Kubfu having good stats, so for a marathon, this category is very consistent. So after that little intro, we're going to be getting control pretty soon in the house. Pretty much as soon as I gain control, I'm going to do a menu to switch a bunch of my options. So I'll do that menu first, and then I will explain what exactly I did after I do it. Okay, so I did some fairly standard Pokemon menu stuff, turned my text speed to fast, turned the battle animations off. I set my battle style to set. That basically just makes it so that the game doesn't just keep asking you if you want to switch to a different Pokemon every time you defeat one. I turned autosave off, which means that the game doesn't save automatically, which is actually a little bit faster. Not by that much, but it's get all the time save you can get. And the big one is I turned skip movies on. So there's a few specific cutscenes in this game. The ones where you don't actually have to advance text, they're kind of flagged as what are known as movies in this game. And by turning that option on, it basically just automatically skips those for me. So here we have a little bit of a sequence where we have to talk to Hop's mom, talk to Leon. Basically characters who are kind of relevant in the base game, but don't matter too much in the DLC section that we'll be doing for this run. One thing about this run as well is that it's kind of split into what I would consider like two halves, because you can't actually access the Isle of Armor until you kind of go through the intro part of this game. So what we'll be doing is we'll be kind of going through the first rival fight, we'll be going through routes 1 and 2, finishing the second rival fight, until we eventually can reach the wild area, kind of the big open area that was advertised for this game. Once you reach there, that's when you actually have access to go to the Isle of Armor. So right now I'm pretty much beelining that. And thank you for the good luck, guys. So yeah, in this game, Leon, which is the guy in the really fancy clothes cape there, he's the older brother of Hop, our rival, and he's also the champion of the region. And so like a big part of the arc in the base game is like Hop learning his own individuality and not just like copying his brother, but we're gonna see like none of that in this run. So here, Leon says that he's brought back 3 Pokemon, so now we get the choice of starter. For this run, we will be using Sobble, and we'll be using Sobble pretty much through the entire run. The reason we use Sobble for this run is because Sobble has very good special attack and speed as well. There's going to be a pretty powerful water-type move that we'll have access to very easily. And so for this run, it just makes the most sense to pick Sobble. Bunny kind of has the problem where its fire moves that it gets early are special based, even though it's supposed to be a physical attacker. And to get like a good physical fire move takes a lot of effort. Grookey's main problem is that it's kind of slow, and grass types don't do very well against the Pokemon that we're going to be up against in this category. So here we're going to be doing our first rival fight. This rival fight's pretty straightforward. We're just going to keep attacking it with our most powerful moves. Here, I'm going to be looking for my stats. Now, at levels, when the Sobble levels up to level 6, I want to see at least 14 special attack. If I don't get that, I will have to go to a backup Sobble on a different profile. So luckily on the Switch, you can set up like different profiles with different save files. So I have a backup on the Switch that I will switch to after this fight if my Sobble's not good enough. I actually think I have very low defense. Normally you take 3 from that tackle, unless your defense is really low. So let's see what I have here. Oh, 15. That is very good. We will definitely take that. That is definitely above average. Whoa. That's something you don't see. I think you have to crit. You don't see it? Yes. So, critical hits are 1 in 24 in this game. Also, if you crit on a Hop fight, Hop will have a little cutscene that's like, wow, you got so lucky. Plus, with crit text, you can't clear it for like 3 extra seconds or something. So actually, even though it saves your turn on that fight, you only save like 1 or 2 seconds by critting there. But it's still time save. As well, for this run, for donation incentives, we have both naming the character, which comes before time starts. As well, we also can name the Sobble. The nice thing about this game is you can go into the menu at any time and re-nickname your Pokemon, so even if I have to switch to a backup file, I'll still be able to fulfill any sort of naming incentive that we have. So right now in this forest, pretty much the story is that one of the Wooloo, the little cute sheep Pokemon, got lost in here, and me and Hop are going to go try to find it. And in the process, we're going to kind of see what's supposed to be the box legendary. All three of these encounters are completely forced. There's no way around them. So we just run into them. They give super little experience too, so it's not worth trying to defeat them. Yeah, one thing to note is that in this game, unlike pretty much all of the previous mainline games up to this point, encounters are not completely random. So in this game, you'll see it on when we get to Route 1 and 2, but in this game, there are two types of encounters. There are overworld encounters, which are Pokemon that spawn on the screen. You can see them, and you can run into them. There are also a form of random encounters, but it's a little different than previous games. So the way random encounters work in this game is that you will see an exclamation point kind of pop up in the grass. And then after, like, a couple seconds after the exclamation point comes up, then you'll be able to kind of run in that area where the exclamation point popped up to get some sort of random encounter. So this mechanic's really nice for us, so we don't have to, like, worry about random encounters for the most part. There are some Pokemon that are kind of difficult to see and you may accidentally run into, but there's still almost always a way to avoid them. Okay, so after our encounter with that Pokemon, Leon's gonna come in and kind of save us. And then we'll be teleported back. One really important thing to remember that's really easy to forget is that at this point, I actually need to go back and talk to your mom. And she'll look at your starter and be like, oh, it's so cute. And then I'll also give you quite a bit of money that is useful in like 99% of categories for this game, but actually it's like totally useless in this category. You don't need money at all. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think you buy a single thing in this run. Which is so strange compared to most Pokemon runs. Okay, so now that we're on Route 1, we're actually going to want to catch at least one Pokemon here. We're going to look for a Wooloo. If we can't find a Wooloo, we'll catch a Skwovet, but yeah, that's unfortunate, especially for this category. So one thing for this category is that we actually want to hit level 11 by the time we get to the wild area. Getting the level 6 Skwovet there is actually very good. It breaking out is not very good. But basically, because I have a level 6 Skwovet here, I won't need to catch an additional, like, an extra Pokemon to get to level 11. Pokemon here can spawn from level 3 to level 6. The catch rate here is very good. It's like at least 90% to get in the ball. So it's not worth weakening if you just throw. The reason for that is because in this game, like, very low-level Pokemon have, there's a part of the catch rate formula where it kind of increases the catch rate for super low-level Pokemon. But you'll see me catch that, and also later you'll see me catch one more Pokemon to get to that level 11 mark. And once we get to the wild area, I'll talk about why that level is important. Here we're beating Sonya and her Pokemon Yamper. Yet another example of a character we'll see briefly, and then we will not see kind of their relevance in the story. But I love them so much. Alright, so over back here, we're going to pick up a rare candy. A rare candy is an item that makes you go up one level, no matter how much experience you have. And that rare candy is going to be quite important for us in about 10 minutes. Here I'm going to be a little careful. I have to make sure I say no to Hop. If I don't say no, Hop's gonna start going over a whole explanation of what a Pokemon Center is. So we'll come out. So upcoming here is one of the important reasons why we have to catch at least one Pokemon on Route 1. Not only is it for experience, but also here, if we didn't catch a Pokemon, Leon would start going into a whole catching tutorial. And it's actually faster for us to catch a Pokemon than to watch the catching tutorial. Plus, we get extra experience from the catch, so just worth it completely. Okay, so here's Route 2. We're going to be fighting a couple required trainers here. And then we'll be heading to the Professor Magnolia's house and doing the second rival fight. Unlike in most previous generations of Pokemon, it's not actually faster to talk to the trainers. So in a lot of previous generations, because the exclamation mark takes a lot of time, it would be faster to go up and talk to the trainers to not get the exclamation point. But in this game, one, the exclamation point is pretty fast, and two, you actually still get it anyways, even if you talk to them. So there's no point in taking the extra steps there. Here, I'm going to be careful to dodge some of these Pokemon. There's a little tight on the Toodle there. So this turn is a little bit annoying. So it starts out with a Blip Bug that we can't one-shot, and also knows a move called Struggle Bug. which will lower our special attack. So if we're able to crit this Pokemon, it's really nice because we save a turn on this Pokemon and we have we don't have lower special attack. Hopefully here we can try to get a little bit lower HP. Ideally, hopefully 1/3 or lower. Great, yeah, we have less than 1/3 of our max HP. That's very good because that will activate Sample's ability called Torrent. Torrent is an ability that when you're at 1/3 of your health or lower, it will increase the power of your water moves by 1.5 times. So that will be good to save a turn on that Nickit. We're gonna talk in here for a bit, and then we're gonna go outside, and Leon and the Professor, Magnolia, wants to watch this battle. This is another fairly straightforward battle where you just spam Water Gun, but there are a lot of interesting what are called ranges. So basically, Pokemon like moves, even if you have like the same stats and the same Pokemon against another Pokemon with the exact same stats, the damage that the move actually does is slightly random. It calculates a number and then actually does between 85% and 100% of that damage output. So normally without critting, this Wooloo can be a range to get the 2-shot if you have lower end special attack. Also on the Score Bunny and the Rookidee that are coming up, they will be very, very unlikely but possible ranges to one-shot without getting a crit. Now the crit I got on that Wooloo was actually very bad because crits in this game, unlike Gens 1 to 6, only do 1.5 times damage instead of 2. So actually, by me getting that crit, I did not save a turn. I got the extra crit text box, which loses like 30 seconds, and I got the extra cutscene with Hop saying, wow, you're so lucky. So all in all, I lost like 6 or 7 seconds by getting that crit, which is pretty unfortunate. Luckily, if I crit again on this fight, I won't get a second cutscene with Hop. So that would actually be good, if I can, but I didn't. And crits on the Score Bunny or the Rookidee would have saved a turn. So, unfortunate, but that's how Pokemon is. Okay, so in this cutscene, pretty soon we're gonna get, I believe, what is it called? Wishing Pieces, I believe? That we'll get pretty soon. Those will allow us to use Dynamax, but we're only allowed to Dynamax in like very specific areas. There is one fight about 40 minutes from now where that is very, very important that we'll be able to Dynamax. It's the only fight we're allowed to Dynamax in this run. They typically only allow you to do it on kind of like boss battles, quote unquote. So like gym leaders, some of the evil team later on, but for this run, there's only one fight we'll be allowed to do it. So here's a fairly lengthy thing of text. In the marathon, this would be a great time for donation reading or plugging. For this submission, I'll actually talk about some of the other things I'm submitting. So this for RPG Limit Break. So I'm gonna be also submitting a bunch of Pokemon Let's Go categories. So Pokemon Let's Go is a game that came out in 2018, the first Switch Pokemon game, and it's a remake of Pokemon Yellow, integrated with Pokemon Go mechanics. So for that, I'll be submitting 2 categories. The first one I'll be submitting is called Diploma. Diploma is a category where you and a partner aim to both get a complete Pokedex of 150, and then pick up the in-game kind of diploma reward for having 150 Pokemon caught. It's a really fun category. Takes a lot of on-the-fly routing. You go to so many different areas in the game that you wouldn't normally see in a run. And because it's a 2-player co-op category, there's pretty much always something interesting happening on at least one person's screen. So it's a 5-hour run, but it manages to always stay pretty fresh. Here, I'm actually gonna catch this Choodle right here to get me to level 11. Then there's gonna be some more cutscenes, where I'll talk about my other Let's Go submission. But first, hopefully this Choodle gets in the ball. Great. It's faster to catch it than to try to defeat it, so that's why we do it. And we should hit level 11, barely. There. The other category I'll be submitting to RPG Limit Break 2023 for Pokemon Let's Go is the All Obtainable Pokemon category. That is pretty much the kind of 1-player catch-em-all category, where you get the maximum number of Pokemon to get caught on a single file without trading, which that number is 135. So again, it's a longer category, but there's a lot of catching, and going to a lot of areas that you wouldn't normally see in 90%. I'll be submitting that both as a solo submission, where we could have a Pikachu version versus Eevee version bid war. I will also be submitting it as a race with Joker Sleeps. Joker Sleep is also the person who I will be doing my diploma submission with. For submissions though, this is a really good category for like a shorter Pokemon run. And it's also really nice, I think, to showcase because it's a run that's fairly easy to get into. A lot of other Pokemon runs require a lot of, knowledge of the game, knowledge of kind of how the math of Pokemon works. A lot of stat tracking and doing different strategies based on that. And a lot of them are very long. But this one pretty much doesn't really require very much stat tracking, and only really takes an hour and a half. So it's if you are someone who has both Pokemon Sword or Shield and the DLC, it's a very easy run to get into. And that's why I think it's really good to show off in a marathon. So right after this cutscene here, this is when our access to the DLC area will finally come. So right after here, I'm going to actually head back into the station, go back to Wedgehurst, which is the town we were in before, and we will kind of see the DLC sequence. So to be able to access the DLC, we have to catch a level 12 Slowpoke. That's very important, because this game has really, really funny catching mechanics. Basically, if you are below the level of the Pokemon you're trying to catch, the catch rate absolutely tanks. And that's actually the reason we needed to get level 11 by the time we got to the wild area. So we have 11 now. I have the one rare candy to get me to level 12. And because I'll get to level 12, I won't have a terrible catch rate for the Slowpoke. Now, I'm going to opt to just throw a ball hit Slowpoke instead of weakening it. It's about 55% per ball. We have a lot of Pokeballs, so it's not like a huge concern. I'll use this candy. Make sure to keep Water Pulse. Water Pulse is a decently powerful water type move. We're gonna get another more powerful one pretty soon though. So here's the Slowpoke we need to catch. So hopefully good luck getting the first ball. Yeah, good luck. Love to see it. So after this, we're gonna get the pack that allows us to access both the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. And we're gonna do something that seemed a little weird for a couple of minutes here. We're actually not gonna go to the Isle of Armor right now. We're actually gonna head into the Crown Tundra. And we're gonna take about a 3-minute detour here. The reason for that is because the Crown Tundra, very close to the entrance, there are EXP candies. So basically, these are items that will give your Pokemon a set amount of experience. So, one of the ones we're going to get is an EXP Candy M, which gives your Pokemon 3,000 experience. Because it's a set amount of experience, it is extremely good for low-level Pokemon. I'm going to gain about, I would gain, 6 levels just from one EXP Candy medium. Oh, I didn't mean to go out of the box. There we go. So we're gonna pick up here an EXP Candy medium, a full restore, and there's also another spot that has a random candy. So it can be an EXP Candy small, an EXP Candy medium, or a rare candy. It doesn't matter too much which candy I get, but it will change what level I am for the rest of the run. But first, before we can actually access this, we actually have to fight Peony here. Now, very graciously, this game allows you to lose this fight. So, you don't have to defeat a level 70 Pokemon to have access to this. That's the reason I boxed all of my other Pokemon, so that I can lose this fight faster. Also, having extra Pokemon in the party just gives you, unnecessary level ups. Because, Pokemon in your party gain experience even though they don't participate in the fight. So it's just time lost for no reason. Now, it is a pretty lengthy detour to go here to get these EXP candies. However, it not only allows you to be a much higher level for the rest of the run compared to not doing this, it also means that we don't have to buy what are known as X items. So normally in most Pokemon runs, you would buy things called X items, and they're basically items that boost your stats temporarily within each battle. The problem with that for this run is that accessing X items requires us to go through the wild area and then watch 2 or 3 more extra cutscenes. And we very much do not want to be doing that. So, oh, I got the EXP Candy M. That is good. That's the best thing you can get there. So we're going to be going back to Wedgehurst now. And heading to the Isle of Armor. Those Pokemon in the Crown Tundra, by the way, are going to be like level 60 or something, so you need to be really careful to not run into them. It's not like a huge deal if you accidentally do, you just die and get warped back to the station right there, but it would still be a fair bit of time loss. So right after this cutscene here, I'm going to be using my 2 EXP Candy M's, and you're going to see just how powerful the EXP Candies are. So level 12, nope, we're level 21 now. And we're also going to evolve into Drizzile. So we just gained about 9 levels right there. Throughout the rest of this run, we're gonna gain like 5 more levels. That's how powerful these EXP Candy M's are. So right here in this cutscene, we're gonna kind of meet our Isle of Armor rival, I guess. Clara. Now, the biggest difference between Sword and Shield for this category is the Isle of Armor rival that you get. So Clara is exclusive to Sword. In Shield, she would be replaced with someone named Avery. And it's not just like the character that changes, the actual Pokemon that they have are pretty much completely different. In older routes, before we got these EXP candies from the Crown Tundra, the Shield route was so much worse than Sword because of those differences with between Clara and Avery's fights. But now they are very close, but Shield is technically faster. The only reason I'm not running Shield is because I don't actually own the Shield DLC. Because you actually have to buy them separately for Sword and Shield, which is cool. So we can just spam Water Pulse. We are way higher level than Clara's Pokemon here, so no worries at all. Thank you for the good luck, Greta. So here I'm level 21 because I got the 2 EXP Candy Mediums. If you got EXP Candy Small or a Rare Candy, you would be at about level, I believe it's like 18 or 19 here, which means some of these Pokemon in this fight and the next fight would potentially not die depending on your stats. But you're so much higher level, it doesn't even really matter. As far as odds go, the medium candy there is about 60%, and then the small is about 20%, and a rare candy is about 20% as well. So you're more likely than not to get the good candy there. Here, I'm going to be heading over to that the dojo there, that kind of big building. I'm going to be trying to dodge some of these really small Pokemon here, so I have to keep an eye out. Here's just a cutscene showing that you can find these Alolan Diglett around and then get rewards or something. I don't know, it's not relevant to the run at all, so you can just pretty much just ignore it. It's kind of what the Isle of Armor's story here is. Basically, somebody else was supposed to be invited to this dojo, but they kind of got too scared, so we kind of accidentally get roped into it. Clara, our rival here, really does not want us to come to the dojo because she wants to be the best, and she kind of realizes that we're really powerful. So a lot of stuff here is gonna be her trying to sabotage us. So basically, we're gonna fight the kind of head of the dojo, Mustard. Then after that, we'll be doing 3 kind of trials to see who deserves to get Kung Fu. And then after we get those are done those trials, then we're gonna actually go to the Tower of Two Fists and complete that. Here we're going to get the EXP Charm, which is a very useful item. It pretty much acts, if you know Pokemon, it pretty much acts as a permanent lucky egg. Which basically means that we get 1.5 times experience just automatically. Okay. So here, he's gonna have a Mienfoo. Hopefully we just get really lucky and it doesn't use Fake Out turn 1. That's unlucky. Most of the time you'll use Fake Out there though, so it's the expected outcome. This is another fight where it would be really bad before we started getting this EXP candies because you'd be like level 13. You'd have to like activate Salva's ability and get low health, and then the Shinx you would have to like be really careful that you actually get the Shinx so that it doesn't just kill you, and there we just one-shot both of these Pokemon. It's very nice. So here we get our dojo clothes, and then we kind of get introduced to the first trials. So what the first one's going to be is that there are going to be 3 Slowpoke, but the little funny thing about these Slowpoke is that they're actually really, really fast. So they're going to be kind of running around the overworld, and we're going to have to catch up to the Slowpokes and defeat them. So you can see soon they're gonna zoom. Look at them go. Okay, so we're gonna kind of go to the area to the left of the dojo here, and not actually the area where these 3 Slowpoke are gonna be running around. In this area, one thing that can be really annoying is that one of the Pokemon that can spawn are Bouffalant. There's one like Bouffalant that always spawns, and it won't run after you, but any randomly spawning Bouffalant will just pretty much charge you, and they're unavoidable since we don't have the bike. So hopefully we don't see that. So over here, we're going to get a powerful water move of Muddy Water from item right here. Muddy Water is basically what if Surf was 85% accurate, and that's what Muddy Water is. And that sounds really bad, but because of, you know, how fast you can get it, it is very, very worth it. So the thing with these fast Slowpoke dudes is they kind of run in the same circle, so if you just kind of know where they're running, you can just stand in a spot where they're going to be, and they'll just run right into you. It's pretty nice. So here... And yeah, these Slowpoke have, like, maxed out, like, actual speed stat. So sometimes they can just be faster than you. One thing I did that you didn't see in the video, but I actually set the time on my Switch, not the time, the date on my Switch to October 19th. And the particular reason for that is for the date of the Switch kind of determines what weather is going to be in what area. So that made it so that I got rain here, and also so my water moves are boosted. It also made it so I did not get sun when I did the first Clara fight. I don't think I'm standing in the right spot. Nope, I was. Okay, we're good. So rain here makes it pretty easy to usually one-shot the Slowpoke. So there's the second one, and there's one more over here. Where is this? There you are. Oh, I get confused. Okay. I'm going for it. Okay. Actually, interesting. So, normally you wouldn't be really low HP here, and you'd actually swap in a low-level Pokemon to do a Death Ward here. But actually, because my Drizzle is just so low HP, I'm actually just gonna use that to Death Ward here. So basically, after you defeat the 3 Slowpoke, you need to go back to the dojo. But also, the dojo is exactly where our spawn point is. After we, if we faint or wipe out. So we're just gonna do that on this powerful Malamar here. So after that, we're gonna get the choice between Squirtle or Bulbasaur. This is a potential donation incentive, I guess, but like we pretty much don't really use either of these Pokemon anyways. There is a very, very safe strat we can do on a fight later that requires Bulbasaur, so I'm gonna pick it up, but it's decently slower, and it's pretty likely to not actually increase your odds of winning the fight by very much. So really, you can pick either one. So the second thing is that Master's gonna ask us to go get some max mushrooms. So we're gonna kind of travel across the Isle of Armor to go get some. Mustard will kind of point us in the right direction because he's like, oh, you're new here. I'll give you a hint. So we gotta go through this forest, go in that cave, and then we'll find some mushrooms there. This forest that we're about to walk through has a lot of annoying camera angles. And a lot of small Pokemon, which makes it very easy to accidentally run into things. You can zoom at the camera, but it makes the game lag a little bit if you do, so I generally try not to. Yeah, you see how great that camera angle was. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're gonna head over here. For safety, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a Moo Moo Milk. That's an item that heals, I can't remember if it's 70 or 80 HP, but it's one of those two. Let's find out. Oh, yeah, 100. I lied. It's enough HP that you would basically be filled to full, so... It's something we don't normally pick up in the run, but it's a nice little safety backup. So here's the mushrooms. But first, Clara's gonna be like, actually, I want those. So we're gonna end kind of a fight here. She's actually gonna lead with a Slowpoke that we can't one-shot, so let's not get confused by a Slowpoke this time. That would be really good. Okay, good. Oh, one thing I did, I forgot to deposit Bulbasaur. Okay, I have it in my party, now it's gonna get a bunch of levels, and you're gonna see how slow it is to have an extra Pokemon in your party that just levels up constantly. Alright, so after this I'm going to do another Death Warp to get back to the dojo. So I'll need to deposit Bulbasaur so I can do the Death Warp faster. First, before I do that Death Warp, I'm going to be picking up an item called the Rocky Helmet. The Rocky Helmet is an item that basically, if you get hit by a contact move, then the thing that hit you will get 1/6 of their HP dealt, which will be very important for the last fight we do in this run. Right now, though, we're gonna go to this Rhyperior that's like level 50 or something to get back. So kind of after this cutscene, we're going to get to keep 3 max mushrooms because the soup that's made is actually using Clara's mushroom, not ours. So the max mushrooms are a very, very important item for us. Basically, if you use one, it basically acts as an Omni boost, meaning you get an increase in your attack, defense, special defense, and speed, all in the same turn. Which, we will be using all 3 of those max mushrooms over the last kind of 20 minutes of this run. So over here, we're going to be introduced to the final trial. First, I will kind of show you a little thing about the Chromatic, which is a item where you can put in watts to get like special technical machines and records. We don't use it in this run, so it's not important for us. So the last trial is basically me and Clara have to fight on the arena outside. Clara's definitely going to play this very fair. She won't do anything to sabotage us during this fight at all. I am actually going to save before this fight. This can be an annoying fight. The main reason I need to save for it is because we'll be using 2 of our max mushrooms here, and if we die, we don't get those back, so very important that I save here so I don't lose those. So this fight is the only fight in the run that we'll be able to Dynamax in, because you're kind of in this big open area. Dynamaxing is a mechanic they added in Gen 8, where basically you can make your Pokemon really big for 3 turns, and it increases their HP a bunch, and it gives them... that makes their moves more powerful, basically, is the 1 sentence explanation. Clara also kind of sabotaged us by putting toxic spikes on the ground, which will instantly poison our Pokemon. Which is, so the strat we're going to do is we're going to set up our 2 max mushrooms that we need while being poisoned. And then after that, we're going to use our full restore. Like 2. Now we're gonna full restore. Skorupi's Poison Fang is 50-50 to re-poison us. it doesn't matter too much usually if it repoisons us, but we kind of don't want it to. Just makes you a little bit less likely to die at the end of this fight if you don't get poisoned. The old strat we used to do, we used to like send in the Bulbasaur so that it wouldn't get poisoned, and then send in Drizzile, and then also have like a Pecha to heal poison if you get poisoned again. But it's better to just full restore and then just tank the poison if you get repoisoned. So kind of the bad part of this fight is at the very end. So the last Pokemon that Clara has is a Slowbro, which has the ability Quick Draw. Quick Draw is an ability where it is 30% to just move before you. Even if it's slower. Also, at lower end special attack, the Slowbro can be arranged to die. My special attack's pretty good here, so it won't be. So let's see. As soon as we select the move, it will show if it gets Quick Draw. So we didn't see the Quick Draw ability activate, so we're just gonna one-shot this Slowbro here and be on our way. This is a fight that has a fairly low likelihood of killing you, because you would have to get Quick Draw on bad turns and get poisoned or have bad defenses. But it's a death that can lose a lot of time if you do get it. 29, okay. There, it's actually really important I look at both my defense and my special attack, because those stats will be important for the upcoming fights in the Power of Two Fists. So I have 29 defense and 60 special attack. So I will keep those in mind. So after this, there are going to be a couple cutscenes, and we've done the 3 trials now. So we're going to get our reward, Kung Fu. Now, as I mentioned before, what you're supposed to do for the story of this is that you're supposed to get the Kung Fu. It comes at like level 10, so you have to train it up to be a good enough level to beat the Tower of Two Fists, and you also have to increase its friendship enough, because Mustard won't let you go to the Tower of Two Fists unless Kung Fu's friendship is high. So you gotta make sure both of those go up. And then you can challenge the Power of Two Fists with it. And its stats are really important. Like, you may have to reset a couple times to get good enough stats for it. It's kind of a whole big thing. Instead, we're just gonna not use it at all. So we're gonna have this cute little cutscene where Kung Fu's a little scared to come with us, but it's gonna be okay because we're nice to it. Right. Look how nice we're being. And as soon as we get control, we are just gonna say, bye-bye, Kung Fu. You don't actually want to. See ya. So we're gonna go over to talk to Mustard, and Mustard's like, wow, you released Kung Fu. Are you sure you really want to do this? And we're like, yep, I'm sure. So basically the Tower of Two Fists, we have a choice between two towers. We've got the Tower of Waters and the Tower of Darkness. No, actually the Tower of Waters is closer to us from where we start. However, using Drizzle against other water types is not going to be very fast, to say the least. So we're actually going to take the extra trek over to the Tower of Darkness. So we gotta go through the forest again. And then after we get through the forest, we're gonna kind of go up some slopes and stairs. So basically the tower consists of 5 fights. And the fight at the very end will be against Mustard with a Kung Fu. So basically for these fights, at least for the first 4, kind of the main thing we want to be looking at is our special attack, because a lot of things are ranges in the tower, and you might have to change your strats depending on what stats you have. And the other thing you want to know is your defense, because some of the things in the tower hit kind of hard. So you want to make sure you're not just like dead to something that you didn't expect. We also want to pay attention to Rizal's HP, because sometimes we can do different strategies based on if it's below 1/3 or not, because of that torrent ability I mentioned before. There will be a couple fights in here I will save for, just because if you die, you have to redo the entire tower again, and I don't want to deal with that. One thing a little scary with this Drizzle in particular is that my defense is quite low. So some things you're going to be hitting pretty hard here. Ooh. 85% miss. Didn't want that. So here, because my defense is actually so low, I actually have to heal before the next fight. And I'll save in case I get crit. The Scraggy has Payback, which is a move that does double damage if you attack it on the same turn. And we can't actually one-shot the Scraggy, so I did not mean to use Muddy Water. Hopefully it hits. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can see like a lot of damage. I'm also going to save here. I'm going to try to one-shot it with Muddy Water. If I miss Muddy Water and I use Night Slash, I will probably die. Now let's get it. Nice. The next Croc Rock here, pretty much almost always gets one shot. It does have Protect, which is annoying if it uses a turn 1, he'll waste a turn. But it's pretty easy, and then we're gonna get to the final Kung Fu fight. Yeah, use protect. That's alright. So for the final Kung Fu fight, there's a couple things that are at play here. The first thing is that Kung Fu has... I probably should have looked at my defense. Oh well, should be fine. Kung Fu has what's called a focus sash, so basically, if you try to one-shot it from full HP, it will not be KO'd. As well, Kung Fu has, like, pretty good stats. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna give this Rocky Helmet to Drizzile and also save. So basically, turn 1, we're gonna use our last max mushrooms to increase our stats. We're gonna have Kung Fu hit us into Torrent so that Drizzile's water moves you more. By hitting us, it will activate the Rocky Helmet, which will damage Kung Fu, meaning that the Focus Sash is broken. And then with that damage, plus the damage we have from boosted special attack and Torrent, we should be able to one-shot the Kung Fu from there. Good. Just don't want to mix the muddy water. Good, nice. And time is when the screen fades to black, so there. And there we go. That was Pokemon Star Tower of Two Fists, Don't Get Urshifu. And to put in perspective how consistent this run is, I just PB'd by 6 seconds, I think. So yeah, pretty much unless you die to the Clara Slowbro on that Dynamax fight, you're probably getting a time that's pretty close to this. I will have my estimate a little bit higher just in case that Clara fight goes really poorly, but usually we will kind of end up in this kind of 112, 113 kind of range if you don't die to that fight. So thanks for watching, and I hope you consider this run for your marathon.